It is Victoria Day, May 24th, 2021. And for those of you celebrating this beautiful long weekend, I hope you have had an amazing time. The weather's been absolutely fantastic. And while many of us are still observing COVID lockdowns and stay at home orders, I hope you had the opportunity to get outside, maybe taking a round of golf or just, tend to the garden. We did some gardening here. We got some vegetables planted and the backyard tidied up, and it's just been a fabulous weekend. I did debate coming on live tonight because it is a holiday and I wasn't sure how many people would be able to join in. But Monday night is my craft live night and I look forward to it just as much as I know some of you do. So if you are joining me, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to share the video. Every week I do a draw for the projects we're going to make tonight, and I will mail them out to you when you share. Well, I draw first and then mail them out to the lucky winner. So be sure to do that. All you have to do is click the little share button in the bottom corner and then you are automatically entered to win. So tonight I have some cute birthday cards to make with you. We are going to use the Party Puffin stamp set, which I have used before, but I wanted to show you these quick and easy note cards because we all need birthday cards at some point. And these are great ones to have in your arsenal. So let me flip the camera and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So as I mentioned, we're using Party Puffins, and that is located on page 67 in your catalog. If you are in Canada and you do not currently have a demonstrator and you would like a copy of the catalog, please let me know and I will get one out to you. So Party Puffins is this adorable little set. It's 11 stamps, and our catalog is more than just a catalog. That does have some ideas. So there's one up here in the corner of an idea that you can make. And then the other thing we are using are the note cards and envelopes, which are located on page 136, and it is right here in the bottom corner. They come in basic white or very vanilla, and they are $9.50 for 20 cards and 20 envelopes. So really keeping it simple for you, and you can make awesome cards using just these supplies. But I am going to add in something extra. So we are going to be using the 2021-2023 in color designer series paper. You can see I've used quite a bit of the stock already, but these are our new in colors for the next 2 years. So there are 5 colors. You've seen me use them before, and the DSP is beautiful. So it's double-sided paper, and there's 2 patterns of each paper. So you can see this is one side and then the other in each of the 5 colors. So we're going to be using this on our cards today as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's our stamp set, and here is my note card and base. So you can see it's a really good piece of cardstock. It's already scored down the middle. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. So it's pre-scored. All you have to do is fold along that score line. And then I do like to give it a burnish with my bone folder because they don't lie flat otherwise, or at least I don't find that they lie flat. And so there we have our card, quick and easy, no cutting involved. And then it has a perfectly sized envelope ready for you to use to send that off to somebody. So the next thing we're going to do, actually, let me show you the sample. I like to start with the sample. So this is one of the cards we're going to make, and I am changing it ever so slightly. On the sample, I've created a bit of a tag, but I'm going to change that out and not make a tag. So let's show you how I did that. So I'm starting with the base, and then I want to add in a piece of our designer series paper. Of course, I had it pre-cut, and now I can't locate it. So we might have to improvise, and I might actually need to cut a piece of designer series paper. This is what happens when my craft room is a mess. I know I say that every week, but it truly is a mess. I have the paper share being cut to go out. I have my bingo class being cut and prepped as we speak. I have card club being cut and prepped as we speak. So my craft room really is a bit of a hot mess. I'm just going to double check everything here. Make sure I haven't tucked it in somewhere it doesn't belong, because I would totally do that. Yes, it seems to have walked away. All right, let's cut us a piece of DSP. So I am using, nope, I tucked it in the paper pack. So here it is. So this piece is 2 inches by 3.5 inches, and it is going to fit right across. So the width of that note card is 3.5 inches. And I'm going to apply that with my Stampin' seal. And I want to leave about 1/4 inch from the bottom of the card. I'm going to have that basic white poking through. So there we have our DSP. Next, I'm going to cut out a rectangle shape, and I am using our Stitched Rectangles dies. So that's, nope, that's not those ones. That's these ones over here. So this is a great set. And if you like that stitched look that we've had on many of our dies, this is a great set. You can see how many there are. I'm actually using the one that goes along these long and narrow rectangles. It's the largest of the bunch. So this one here. And I'm going to cut that out in the polished pink, which matches our DSP. So I'm just going to turn myself to cut off camera here. And I'm just using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss mini machine because it works perfectly with that die. So there we have it. And you'll notice these dies actually cut stitching on the negative space as well as on the piece you're cutting out. So you can use that negative space in your projects as well. Tuck those away. So I'm going to put this on the card directly, and I think I'm still going to do it on the diagonal. So that's going to be attached with our seal. Like so. Love it. Next, we want to do some stamping. So I'm going to pull in our puffins, and I'm going to use our birthday puffin. So I already have him mounted on a block, but I want to cut out the circle that we're going to stamp him on. So I am using our layering circles dies, which I believe I've shown you before. This is also a great set. So it's 2 sets of solid circles and then 2 sets of scalloped edge circles, and they coordinate perfectly. So I am using the largest circle from this pack here for our penguin, sorry, our puffin. It's not a penguin. And I've just cut a piece of basic white 3 inches wide, and you can see my circle fits perfectly on there. So again, I'm just going to run it through the mini cut and emboss. So there is our circle. So move that out of the way. And to stamp our puffin, I'm going to use our Memento ink. So this is our black ink, and it's perfect for use with blends. And because our puffin has this beautiful black back, we want to ink upside down to make sure that he's got good coverage. So once I've got that inked, I'm going to try and stamp him right in the center of that circle. Apologize if my head was in the shot there. And isn't he cute? So now I want to color him in a little bit to coordinate with our card. So I'm going to pull in our Pale Papaya Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to pull in our Polished Pink Stampin' Blends. Hi, Kareen. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to start with his feet. So I'm going to use the light Polished Pink, and I'm actually just going to add a little bit of highlight along his bottom flipper here. And then I'm going to go in with the Pale Papaya next, and then I'm going to also color in the tip of his beak And I'm going to color in the hat. Now you'll notice this is all in the light polished pink, but there's a reason for that. So next I'm going to go in with the dark. And I'm going to fill in those polka dots with the dark. Oh. I feel like I just lost light somewhere. Hopefully you guys can still see. And then I'm going to come in with the dark pale papaya and just add some additional shading here. Blending out that polished pink on his flippers. Jan, when it's a larger image or an image that's really solid and you want to make sure you have good coverage, that's when I suggest inking upside down. You can still ink it normal side. You just need to make sure that you're checking the coverage before you apply it to your paper. Otherwise, you run the risk of having gaps in your shading. And that's not a problem if you're using a Stamparatus and you can re-ink your image and go back in. But if you're doing it on a block, it's really hard to then try and line it up again if you end up with holes. So that's why I like to ink upside down when it's got that solid coloring like the black here. I hope that answers your question. So there's our little puffin. And we're going to mount him to our card using dimensionals. I'm just going to peel those backs off. And I'm going to put him right in the center. Give him a push to make sure he's secured. And that's super cute by itself, but of course we want a happy birthday on there. So I am going to pull in the happy birthday stamp, and I'm going to grab my ink because I forgot to grab that. So again, coordinating colors. This is our polished pink ink. And this piece of basic white is 3/4 of an inch wide. And the length is irrelevant because I'm actually going to trim it or create a banner flag. So there's our happy birthday. Corrine, no, the blends being alcohol markers, they won't work to do the coloring. It's the Stampin' Write markers you want to use to ink up your stamps. So I'm just going to create a banner flag. I like the look of that. So again, we have a punch for this, but if you don't have the punch, your paper snips work well. So just a snip up the middle and then come in from the corners to meet that center snip. And then the same on the other side. I'm just going to trim the length and then come in from the center. There we have our sentiment, and that is also going to get attached with dimensionals. You're very welcome, Corrine. Hi, Pat. I'm going to put that right underneath. And then, of course, we want to finish that off with some bling. So these are our in color jewels. They've got a little bit of an iridescent feel to them. So I'm going to use the coordinating polished pink. And I'm going to grab one of the larger ones first. And then another large one. And then a smaller one. And there we have super cute little puffin card. Quick and easy to make. Great to have on hand for those birthdays. And of course, you always want to dress up your envelopes. So if you saw that in the sneak peek, I stamped our little puffin in the corner of the envelope and then colored his nose to coordinate. And a tip for when you're stamping your envelopes or coloring your envelopes, because the blends will bleed through, I just have a Post-it note or a scrap piece of paper and I tuck it inside the envelope, so then when I'm coloring it doesn't bleed through to the back side. So I want to show you how quick and easy it would be to make these in other colors. So I've already pre-cut my DSP and attached. So this one is obviously the Evening Evergreen, which is another in colors. And then we have the coordinating rectangle. So we're going to attach that. And keeping it the same, we're going to do that slight diagonal. Pre-cut some additional circles, which disappeared. There they are. They're just buried under stuff on my desk. So I'm going to use that same puffin. And again, that upside down inking to make sure that he's got good coverage. There he is. I'm going to do the same coloring for his nose or his beak, because I don't think I've ever seen a puffin with a green beak. Just going to add some of the polished pink there. And then fill in his feet. I love these little puffins. They're just so cute. They're so easy to work with, even if they are whimsical. I mean, who doesn't love cute little puffins? Seriously adorable. And then to tie our puffin together, I've got my Evening Evergreen blends. So I'm going to use the dark for the pom-pom and the polka dots. So this keeps it a little more masculine using the darker colors, which I know many struggle with masculine cards, myself included. Father's Day is around the corner, so start thinking about your card designs. Jan, the thickness of the blocks, that's a good question. Let me measure that for you. And you're right, I don't think they mention it in the catalog. They're about 3/4 of an inch wide. And this is a D block that I'm using. I probably use my D block more than any other size. Yeah, I can honestly say my D is probably the one I use the most. So our little puffin's going to get attached again with dimensionals. Nancy, I had no idea a puffin was the bird of Newfoundland. That's awesome. They're just so cute. My husband was watching me make samples the other day, and he's like, why are you having so many penguin cards? And what's wrong with that penguin? It looks funny. I'm like, it's not a penguin. It's a puffin. He's like, yeah, same difference. I'm like, no, they're not the same. He just didn't get it. He's a guy. What do you expect? All right, so there's our little party puffin. And I think for this guy, I'm going to do From All of Us. Pull that out. I'm going to grab another block. So the general rule of thumb with your blocks is you want them to be as small as possible for your stamp. It just avoids the tendency to rock and get those edges. And I'm going to grab my Evening Evergreen ink. Chair's going all wonky. Ugh. Okay. And since Corrine asked, I'm going to show you how to ink your stamps using Stampin' Write markers. So these are double tipped markers, much like our blends. The difference being our blends are alcohol-based markers and, excuse me, they are designed to be used repetitively on your sheet of paper and blend together. Our Stampin' Write markers are not recommended for that use. So still a brush tip and a journaling tip. And to use them to stamp with, you just use the side of the brush tip on your stamp, coloring in the image. And then you have to huff on it or breathe on it. Because it's a water-based ink, it just moistens that ink back up and then you can stamp on it. Oftentimes, if you see images that have been, they look like they've been colored or they've been stamped in a variegated ink pad, it's often somebody's colored them in with their Stampin' Write markers to create that look. So this piece of cardstock is actually a little bit wider. I think this is a full 1 inch, but I'm okay with that. And again, I'm going to create my banner ends. Flying paper. There we go. And then we're going to attach with dimensionals again. This one's a little bit shorter, so I only need a couple. And I'm actually going to overlap this, I think. Maybe not. You know what? I'm going to trim it. It's a little too wide for my liking. Look at that. Lovely. Much better. So there is our sentiment, and then of course we want our bling-a-bling. Take your pick tool, and then I'm going to use the dark evening evergreen jewels. Same positioning. Like so. So there's two. So we're getting the idea. We've got the evening evergreen and the polished pink. So let's move on to what's next. Soft succulent. So again, I've pre-cut the paper. I have already attached it. And we're going to do our bird on there. So our puffin. And this time, we're going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to grab my circle. And I'm going to grab another couple of stamps. So this time I'm going to use this guy. Looks like he's dancing, happy feet. And I'm going to grab the birthday cake. Me too, Corrine. They are fantastic. This might be my favorite set of ink colors in a long time. And I'm going to grab another D block for my puffin, and then for my cake. This is a B block. So I'm actually going to stamp the cake on the circle this time. And same thing, so I'm using my memento. And I'm actually going to stamp it towards the left, like so. And then I need a scrap of basic white. So I'm going to use the scrap that I used to cut out our circle. I'm going to ink our puffin. So you can see if I ink this way, I can't tell if he's fully coated. So I'm going to flip him back over. Lovely. We are going to stamp him on our scrap. And I'm just rubbing to make sure that that ink transfers nicely. We are then going to color our puffin. So again, the same coloring for his beak. So the pale papaya and the polished pink. He's just so cute. I could sit and color all day. Corrine says she had to have them all of the new in colors because she loved them so much. And she can't recall that happening in the past. I hear ya. There are just some colors that really stand out and make your heart happy, and I think these 5 are it for me. It's been a long time since I've been this excited about in colors, for sure. All right, so now I'm gonna actually fussy cut my little puffin out, and you can be as detailed or as not so detailed as you want when you're fussy cutting. I always like to leave a little bit of white border peeking out around the image, just like if I were using a die cut, which there are no die cuts for the puffins, sadly. So you are at the mercy of your paper snips. But if there were dies for it and you were to cut it out, there's always a little bit of a white border around them. So I just like to leave that little bit of white showing. If you like it close to the line art, by all means, give her a go. Hi, Debbie. All right, so there's our little puffin. We're gonna pull our base in. Of course, I've cut out my soft succulent rectangle already. And this one, I think I'm actually going to put straight up and down. We're gonna change the look just a little bit. And then I have my birthday cake, which we also need to color. So I'm going to color this with the soft succulent. And I always like to start with my dark when I'm doing this. So anywhere you think there might be a shadow, which in this case would be underneath that top layer and maybe under the candles. And then I'm going to fill it in with the light and blend those lines out. Super quick. And then I think I'm going to do the cake in Hail Papaya. So cute. Move it. Add our candles. All right, so now we're going to attach our circle with dimensionals. Oops. So throw it in the ink. And we're going to put that slightly off center. And a little bit lower because I'm going to put the greeting on top this time. But we're going to put our little puffin just slightly off the circle. So I want to put a dimensional on his bum here to support it. And then we're just going to use our seal on the other side to support that. There we have it. So cute. So cute. All right, so let's grab another scrap of basic white. I'm gonna close up my memento for a moment. And I'm gonna bring in my soft succulent ink. And this time we're going to stamp Make a Wish. So I'm gonna take my happy birthday off my block. Just wanna clean it first. Make a wish. So cute. All right. So let's ink up our stamp. Put that in the middle as best as possible. Lovely. I'm going to close that up because I will stick my fingers in it otherwise. And do I want to trim that? Yes, I do. So I'm just going to trim the width of this one. And here's the thing. It's actually really in style right now to not have straight cuts on your sentiments. So if it's not straight, that's okay. And then I am going to actually angle the ends like so. And then we are going to put that on our card about there. So again, I'm going to put a dimensional on the side here supported, and then just a little bit of seal on this side. And I probably could have put that circle up a little bit higher, but I didn't, so we'll live with it. There you go-ish. And then of course we want our bling. So we have our soft succulent rhinestones here. I'm gonna go opposite corners this time. Like so. So what are you thinking so far? Are we loving how quick and easy these cards are coming together? Only 2 more to go. So next I have our pale papaya. And we're going to use this guy. And you know what? I think I actually want to change it up a little bit. I think I want him to be smaller. So I'm going to pull in another circle. Let's see. How big do I need here? Oh yes. We're going to do that one. And we are going to use You the Best. Jan, that's a good question. Mine is, I've had mine since they came out, so they're probably a couple years old. I do wash it every so often. So you just need to add water to it to use it, but I will throw it in the washing machine by itself, probably once a month, just to give it a good clean and make sure I've got all the gunk out of it. Pat, I'm glad you're loving these. I had fun with these ones. I'm going to pull out that circle for our sentiments. We're going to create 2 circles here. So, and I'm actually going to, let's see, can I get, no. All right, so I'm just going to recut this circle in a smaller shape. And I'm going to grab a scrap of basic white, if I can find my scrap pile, which I cannot. So I'm going to cut a piece of basic white that I can use. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to cut that as well. And, oh my goodness, cutting plate. Maybe we're not cutting things. Oh yes we are, I found it. All right. Now, if I wasn't crafting live with you, I would stamp everything first and then cut it, but that doesn't always work when we're live. So let's try this. I'm gonna put our You're the Best on here, and I'm gonna clean my birthday cake. Peel that off of there. All right, so let's stamp our little puffin first. So again, just upside down so I know he's good and covered. And stamp him in the center of that larger circle that I just cut. Lovely. I'm gonna give that memento a second to dry, and I'm gonna pull in our, pale papaya to do our greeting. You're the best. stamp that in the center of the little circle. Love it. So let's color our little puffin. So same as before, we have our polished pink. He's just so cute. I love this little guy. He almost seems shy to me. Does anybody else think their stamps have personality, or is that just me? So cute. All right. So now we need our rectangle. I was thinking, it doesn't look right. There's something missing. That's what's missing, is our rectangle. Ooh, I'm loving this. Okay, so I'm going to attach our rectangle with seal. And I'm going to go back to the angled. And then we're going to dimensional up our puffin. Put him right about there. And then our You're the Best is going to overlap just slightly, so we only need one dimensional on there. Like so. I'm loving it. And then we have our bling. And where do I want these ones? Let's go here. There is our pale papaya. So that just means we have fresh freesia left. So let's grab that one and pull it in. And there's my rectangle. And for this one, I'm going to go back to this guy. Move my birthday guy out of the way. So I have my circle already cut. And I think this one I'm going to go straight up and down again. So I'm going to attach my rectangle. Jan, a Stampin' Scrub is actually different. There is a stamp conditioner spray that goes with it. And if you give me a moment at the end here, I will pull out my Stampin' Scrub and show it to you. I have to be honest, I haven't used it in a really long time. I don't think I've actually used it since the chamois came out, but I will show it to you. So the Stampin' Scrub was what the cleaner was before the chamois came out. And it's equally awesome, but it's a two-step process. So there's our little puffin. We're going to do our coloring. Has anybody else got hockey on in the house? I just heard my husband yelling from upstairs, so I'm assuming something exciting is happening in the game. Cute little puffin. Love him. All right, so I'm not going to attach him yet because I want to see what I like with this sentiment. So I'm going to pull in my Fresh Freesia ink, which I'm running out of space. Stay. And this time I'm going to use To Someone Who Makes Others Happy, which, isn't this a great saying? I think there are so many people that could use a card with this greeting on it. It doesn't have to be a birthday card. Just a little pick-me-up. smaller scrap that I'm going to use. So this is the Fresh Freesia ink to coordinate with our papers. So cute. And again, I'm going to trim because I didn't stamp in the center. That one's really crooked. It's going to bug me. Close enough. All right. And I'm going to do the banner on this one again. The one word of caution when you are doing these banner flags, if you're using your paper snips, is try to keep your fingers out of the way. You'll notice I have my fingers pretty close to the blade, and I do that just to stabilize, but I've nicked myself a few times, and let me tell you, it hurts a lot. A lot. Yes. I think I like that. All right, so let's close up my ink before I stick my hand in it. Let's add our dimensionals. Oops. There's our little puffin. We're going to add our greeting also with dimensionals. Cute. And of course we need some sparkle. So we're going to go in with the freesia. Yeah. Adhesive stuck to that card. It's going to drive me crazy now. All right. So we have our bling-a-bling there and some bling-a-bling there. And there we have 5 super easy and adorable puffin cards featuring the new in colors. Look how long it took us to make those. Basically no time at all. And you could have these ready to go. You could also give these as a gift if you've got an occasion where you need to give a handmade gift, or just to say thank you to somebody. Give them a collection of cards. Like, how adorable are those? So I'm going to come back around and we're going to have a quick little chat before I say goodbye. All right. So thank you for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to share the video if you would like to be entered to win these cards. You will get all 5 of them that I made tonight, as well as the envelopes for them. And I will send those out in the mail to the lucky recipient. I have a few things on the go. So Card Club for June is still available for registration. It is open to anyone in Canada. It doesn't matter if you are a demonstrator or a customer or just a hobby crafter. Anybody is welcome to join. I did show a teaser on my Facebook page, which is this card here. So this is one of the cards you'll be making. We are featuring the hand-penned stamp set in our June club. So it is absolutely beautiful, and you will make 6 cards, 2 each of 3 different designs, that being one of them. So there will be 2 other designs for you to create during club. It's all online, so it's not like you have to go out in person, and you get a video tutorial as well as a PDF color tutorial that you can follow step-by-step instructions and complete them at your leisure. You also get goodies included in the Card Club package when I send those out. So if you're thinking about joining, the link is in the bio, www.inkspireme.com/cardclub, and register by June 7th to receive this month's kit. I have a retreat coming up, an online retreat, because COVID, I still can't do in person. It's not yet posted to my website, but it will be going up in the next couple of days. So mark your calendars for August 21st. It will be an all-day online event from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. You will make 10 projects. you'll receive an exclusive swag bag full of about $50 worth of Stampin' Up! Products that you will use in the projects that you'll be making. There will be door prizes, and there will be additional classes that you can register for. So stay tuned for that. I'll be sending out an email and a newsletter when that goes live. If you don't currently subscribe to my newsletter to get that update, just go to my website, again, www.inkspireme.com. There will be a light box that pops up, and you just enter your email address to subscribe. Super easy. I'm also going to be doing mystery boxes in the next couple of weeks. So I have a lot of retired product, and I've already had a BOGO sale this year, so I'm going to be doing some mystery boxes, so stay tuned for details on that. And last but not least, next weekend, next Saturday, I should say, the 29th, myself and 5 other demonstrators are running a Stampin' extravaganza. Anyone in Canada can join. Unfortunately, it's not open to demonstrators, but we will be showcasing projects from the new catalog, and it is going to be tons of fun. There will be games and prizes. There's even a Stampin' bingo at the end of the night. So if you would like to join in, send me a message and I will send you the link in order to do so. And that is it. I planned on being short and sweet tonight, and looks like we went our regular time. So thank you again for joining in. I truly appreciate it. I love you all, and I wish you a fabulous week. Bye, everyone.